You already know what time it is. Your boy Matt Miz, the host with the most. Don't need to brag, no boast. All we do is give a toast to the real folks who done paved the way in the real way for us players to play. And I got my right hand with me,
Yeah.
WI in the building. You know what I'm saying?
What up, though?
My
And a
nigga
car in
Wizzy.
the background saying what up. What up, though?
I'm out here with the fam, you know. And you know, as a father, I got to be cooking. So I just made the kids food. Now I got to cook for myself. Hold up 2 seconds.
All right.
So, you know, this is a good segment that we're talking about.
Okay.
We're talking about this whole situation in Buffalo, New York.
Right.
The home of Griselda Records, you know.
Open up the
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom.
What's up with the Griselda cats, though, man? I feel like they should do like a benefit concert, you know?
Ah, you don't know. You don't know. That might be already in the works.
You know?
But, no, that's a great idea for sure.
Daddy, can you open this?
To stop the stigma of gangster rap, you know?
Please open this. Could you please open this?
Exactly. Not only that,
Don't
you know, they're setting an example for a lot of other. It would be setting an example, I should say. You know,
right?
for a lot of other artists to follow suit.
So my whole thing is it would be wise for them to jump on this, you know, just to like give gangster rap or rap in general a good name, you know. Looking the other way, like we don't have no responsibility in keeping our people informed, and also raising awareness and giving them, like, you know, hope in the time that they need, you know.
No, that's real though. That's real.
Like when we did our show, it was called Voice of the Voiceless because we wanted to voice our opinion on what people really can't speak about, you know, because, you know, circumstances or whatnot, you know, but
They're not in that position.
Bring it to you critically, bring it to you raw and uncut. You know what I'm saying? Live and direct, you know what I'm saying?
Live.
So I know a lot of people don't like that approach, but sometimes the best approach is the realest one. The realest approach is the best one, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Right. When you think, oh, no, this way won't have no effect, but hey, man, it has effect. You can't really doubt yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, pardon me, man. I'm making my little hood meal. You know what I'm saying? A little garlic, peppers, herbs. You know, onions.
Spicy hot. Sponsored by Spicy.
Some, you know, chicken hot dogs, and I just throw that together. You know.
Yeah. I see you working.
It comes out nice. I can't lie. You know what I'm saying? It comes out pretty good. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good, man. As y'all can hear, my baby girl's in the background. She's like, I want some of that. Don't worry, you can get some. So what do you think about this whole situation with the shooter, man? I feel like there needs to be more awareness about this thing, you know? They're trying to sweep it under the rug, like. Because the dude had a white supremacist all types of white supremacist shit on the gun, tagging it, talk about buck broken and all this shit. Remember we did a show about the buck breaking? Watch this.
Oh, oh yeah.
Look at this shit right here. Oh, my bad.
Young Thug, along with 27.
Not this. My bad, y'all. Got me fucking up the vibe. Black man said he had a nearly 2-hour conversation with the racist Buffalo shooting suspect the day before the attack. 2 hours.
Yard weed burned 62 pounds in 3 weeks. If you carry excess weight, then no diet and exercise seem to remove.
You were in that Tops earlier this afternoon. We're going to get to that story.
So when you were asleep, Remy, she was eating a popsicle right next to me. That's what she told me.
What do you want? Popsicle? You guys ate them all. Order more?
Those more.
Only
Those are
one.
purple.
Here, take this.
April, can you open this?
Got a full house over here.
Yes, sir.
None of y'all can hate and say, hey, man, he don't take care of his kids.
Never that. They can't say that.
You know they trying to talk shit about us YouTubers, you know. 'Cause how do we find time, you know?
Yep.
But you ain't gotta waste time. You gotta make time. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So check this out. I'm about to show y'all real quick. Black man said he had a nearly 2-hour conversation about this shit here. 2 hours.
But you told me just a few moments ago that you actually spoke with the suspect yesterday. He was here. Tell me more about that.
I seen him and he looked strange in the neighborhood, but he had a genius shirt on. So I wanted to see if he was a genius. And we sat and talked about string theory, critical race theory, the beginning of civilization, and he seemed like he was a genius, actually. He said he came up just to see the countryside, and he was going to go out camping. He bought a big thing, a jug of water. He had a little nervous twitch to him. I bought him something to drink, and we sat and talked for about an hour and 45 minutes after seeing the pictures and seeing the blue car that I seen got into yesterday. So it's a shock right now, and he told me his name was Peyton. So it's a shock.
And we did see a blue car get taken away from this scene just about a half hour or so ago. And you were saying that you were speaking with him on a bench that's located outside of this Tops.
Yes.
That's the bench that earlier today, when I first got here, you were the first person I spoke to. You were telling me that bench is your office.
Yes.
And you usually like to stop and sit there and talk to people that are passing by. Today you didn't stop.
Yes.
So walk me through your afternoon here at the Tops.
Well, I went in there and got me some a juice, and I didn't want to sit there today, so I walked across the street and I opened up my juice. And as I opened up my juice, I heard what I knew wasn't a firecracker. And I looked up and I seen the guy shooting people. Then I seen the security guard run inside, and then I seen him going after him shooting. Then I saw him come back out, and he had all camouflage on, and glasses and helmet, and then he put the gun to his head, and he dropped it. He took off his gloves. He took off his gun, put it down. He took off his vest, and then he got on his knees and laid down and put his hands behind his back, and they arrested him at that point.
And the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, you were telling me about the security guard, the former Buffalo police officer who has tragically died in this incident. You were telling me today he told you no lingering around the store. We gotta keep it clear.
Yes.
You credited that man with saving your life.
Yes, I heard him say to someone, "There's no lingering around the store." So, me knowing that he was a Buffalo police officer, I never really wanted to give him an opportunity to say anything to me. So when I do go, I shop, and that's the reason why I left.
The brother got out of Dodge.
People that a couple times, so you know, they got to tell me something 4 or 5 times for me to understand. And from what I heard, he went back and he shot at him when he went in the store. So yeah, but if he wasn't there, I would have been sitting there. So I'm definitely thankful that I heard him say that. Yes, I'm definitely thankful to Mr. Salters. Yes, definitely.
Well, Mr. Lewis, thank you so much for joining me here tonight and for telling me your story earlier today. I appreciate it. This entire community here is mourning this tragic loss. There's a memorial set up down Landon Street here. It's truly challenging, difficult, sad, heartbreaking day here in the city of Buffalo. For now, live on Jefferson and Landon, Tara Lynn.
What do you think about that, Playboy?
Wow, that's crazy. I don't know. It looked a little staged. I ain't gonna lie, but the reality of it is, if that situation is credible, like wow, that's insane. The man said he spoke to him beforehand, and then boom, same scenario. The man came, but he switched up the play. His regular play, he switched it up. And then boom, that thing goes down. So it's ironic, yo. It's very ironic, you know, how things can work sometimes.
Yo, the police officer told him, yo, don't linger.
The man didn't have to hear that twice. He said, all right, I'm out. Nah, that makes sense though.
But at the same time, it's like, it's bittersweet because he died, you know? That officer died, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. And there's a video floating around where you see the shooter going in the store, unloading, getting ready to unload on somebody, and then he pulls back and apologizes or some weird, and then yeah.
Oh, he pulls back and apologizes.
On a Caucasian, either customer or a store clerk. I think it was a store clerk still. So it was a white guy still. So, and you know they're saying that obviously the whole thing was racially motivated.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean that's crazy though.
In a nutshell, because think about it. What made him sit down and talk with that man for 2 hours straight about genius shit? You know?
Right.
Y'all want to see some good eggs? This is some good eggs right here. Hold up.
Yeah. Hey, how many eggs is that? What's that, like 6 eggs, guy? That's a lot of eggs. Where you going around with eggs now?
That's 3 eggs, bro. 3 eggs.
3 eggs?
Y'all seen the tidy whitey? Hey yo, je suis à l'aise, man. Je suis à la maison, man. Montréal, man. Block Mode Classes. We're gonna do a 3rd annual Block Mode Classes coming to y'all. But let's get into this breakdown of this whole shooter thing. So what have we been speaking about these past couple of years? white supremacy, racism, white supremacists, the way they buck break our 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 people, you know.
Right.
You got bed wenches, you got buck broken males, you got all types of systematic barriers that keep you away from will keep you it's like a glass ceiling, you know, stop you from excelling because in some parts you get through easily, some parts you don't because the way the system's set up, you know. It's set up for you to fail, but it's set up for you to look like you're winning. At the same time, you're failing, you know, unless you take your destiny in your own hands, which is become your own boss and have an entrepreneurial spirit about producing justice and creating harmony and equity amongst the people, right?
Right.
But they don't want that. They know their numbers are dwindling. So now what they're doing is they're deputizing white people to go out and shoot up minority neighborhoods or whatnot,
Right.
just to show that they could rule as a majority. You know what I'm saying?
But well, yo, why you think they put Buffalo though?
That's what I'm saying. I think it's because of the Homer Griselda. Everybody talk about Griselda is the most gangster place, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Buffalo, yeah.
Buffalo, you know, a lot of shit that goes down. But my whole thing is this: I want to see what Griselda does about this, or how they respond to it, because that's their city, you know.
Yeah.
This shit happened in our city. I expect us to take it upon ourselves to address the situation in the most candid and vivid manner that we can, you know.
Right.
So that's why it's so sad that you hear something like that happen, you know. And it's like he spoke to a black man before that happened, you know.
Daddy.
And I feel like Buffalo
Daddy.
is behind when it comes to certain aspects of maybe it's not as an advanced city as Montreal, New York, Chicago, LA.
Right.
Buffalo's a little bit more regressed, so to speak. I don't know for sure. I can't tell you, but let's go back to what that black man was saying.
News 4. You were in that Tops earlier this afternoon. We're going to get to that story. But you told me just a few moments ago that you actually spoke with the suspect yesterday. He was here. Tell me more about that.
I seen him, and he looked strange in the neighborhood, but he had a genius. I wanted to see if he was a genius, and we sat and talked about string theory, critical race theory, the beginning of civilization, and he seemed like he was a genius. Actually, he said he came up just to see the countryside, and he was going to go out camping. He bought a big thing, jug of water. He had a little nervous twitch to him. I bought him something to drink, and we sat and talked for about an hour and 45 minutes after seeing the pictures and seeing the blue card I seen him got into yesterday. So it's a shock right now. And he told me his name was Peyton. So it's a shock.
And we did see a blue car get taken away from this scene just about a half hour or so ago. And you were saying that you were speaking with him on a bench that's located outside of this Tops. That's the bench that earlier today, when I first got here, you were the first person I spoke to. You were telling me that bench is your office. And you usually like to stop and sit there and talk to people that are passing by. Today you didn't stop. So walk me through your afternoon here at the Tops.
I went in there and got me some a juice, and I didn't wanted to sit there today. So I walked across the street and I opened up my juice. And then as I opened up my juice, I heard what I knew wasn't a firecracker. And I looked up and I seen the guy shooting people. Then I seen the security guard run inside. And then I seen him going after him, shooting. Then I saw him come back out, and he had all camouflage on, and glasses, and helmet,
So you want
and
some
he
of
put
these
the gun
eggs?
to his head, and he dropped it. He took off his gloves, he took off his gun, put it down, he took off his vest, and then he got on his knees and laid down and put his hands behind his back, and they arrested him at that point.
And the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, you were telling me about the security guard, the former
Wants some
Buffalo
eggs.
police officer who was tragically died in this incident. You were telling me today he told you no lingering around the store. We gotta keep it clear.
Yes.
You credited that man with saving your life.
Yes, I heard him say to someone, "There's no lingering around the store." So, me knowing that he was a Buffalo police officer, I never really wanted to give him an opportunity to say anything to me. So, when I do go, I shop and I leave, and that's the reason why I left. Because I heard him tell people that a couple times. So, you don't really got to tell me something 4 or 5 times for me to understand. And from what I heard, he went back and he shot at him when he went in the store. So yeah, but if he wasn't there, I would have been sitting there. So I'm definitely thankful that I heard him say that. Yes, I'm definitely thankful to Mr. Salters. Yes, definitely.
Well, Mr. Lewis, thank you so much for joining me here tonight and for telling me your story earlier today. I appreciate it. This entire community here is mourning this tragic loss. There's a memorial set up down Landon Street here. A truly challenging, difficult, sad, heartbreaking day here in the city of Buffalo. For now, live on Jefferson and Landon, Tara Lynch, News 4.
Yo, so what do y'all think about that? I mean, ain't no two ways about it. I mean, shit. That shit looks staged to me. We spoke about critical race theory. Come on now. Are y'all following me? Like Professor Griff would say. Are y'all following me? And then the cop proceeds to save his life by saying, "Don't loiter here today." Why on that particular day you shouldn't be loitering here? Or was it just fate? Because think about it. Why would he stop and speak about critical race theory to this guy? Yep, no problem, buddy. It's like
Vous n'avez pas d'équilibre travail-vie personnelle.
it's like how much more do they need to know before they give blacks in America the same protection as the Asian community with all the anti-Asian hate bullshit rhetoric?
Yeah, my bad. The phone overheated. So
No, it's all good in the hood. Yeah, but my whole thing is this. How come they didn't? I just looked at the clip again, and I think you're right. That shit looks staged, bro. And how on that particular day he told the guy, "Yo, get out the way," or "No loiter around here today."
Right.
If he's just sitting on the bench talking to people, you know what I'm saying? Since when they tell you don't loiter on a bench? You can't sit on a bench? That's loitering? Then he proceeds to thank the police officer. Proceeds to thank the police officer that got killed or he got shot at while saving his life.
Right.
I don't know, man. I smell foul play. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that was it's too coincidental, you know? Like it's like a movie. So, you know how the media is. Media obviously they have their own we call it agendas, and they have their own messages they want to convey. So they're gonna spin it to where it's like, you know, some like movie. That's a movie script to me. It looked like a movie script still. And
Yeah, because
even how the man said, if it wasn't for
yo, let's play it back one more time. Third time's a charm, bro.
all right,
You were in that tops earlier this afternoon. We're going to get to that story. But you told me just a few moments ago that you actually spoke
Listen to the way he
with the
speaks.
suspect yesterday.
video.
He was here. Tell me more about that.
I seen him, and he looked strange in the neighborhood. But he had a genius shirt on, so I wanted to see if he was a genius. And we sat and talked about string theory, critical race theory, the beginning of civilization, and he seemed like he was a genius. Actually, he said he came up just to see the countryside, and he was gonna go out camping. He bought a big thing, a jug of water. He had a little nervous twitch to him. I bought him something to drink, and we sat and talked for about an hour and 45 minutes after seeing the pictures and seeing the blue car that I seen him got into yesterday. So it's a shock.
And we did see a blue car get taken away from this scene just about a half hour or so ago. And you were saying that you were speaking with him on a bench that's located outside of this tops.
Yes.
That's the bench that earlier today, when I first got here, you were the first person I spoke to. You were telling me that bench is your office.
Yes.
And you usually like to stop and sit there and talk to people that are passing by. Today, you didn't stop.
Yes.
So walk me through your afternoon here at the tops.
Well, I went in there and got me some a juice, and I didn't want to sit there today, so I walked. Juice, I heard what I knew wasn't a firecracker, and I looked up and I seen the guy shooting people. Then I seen a security guard run inside, and then I seen him going after him shooting. Then I saw him come back out, and he had all camouflage on and glasses and helmet, and then he put the gun to his head and he dropped it. He took off his gloves. He took off his gun. He put it down. He took off his vest, and then he got on his knees and laid down and put his hands behind his back, and they arrested him at that point.
And the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, you were telling me about the security guard, the former Buffalo police officer who has tragically died in this incident. You were telling me today he told you No lingering around the store. We gotta keep it clear.
Yes.
You credited that man with saving your life.
Yes, I heard him say to someone, "There's no lingering around the store." So, me knowing that he is a Buffalo police officer, I never really wanted to give him an opportunity to say anything to me. So, when I do go, I shop and I leave, and that's the reason why I left. Because I heard him tell people that a couple times. So, you don't ever really got to tell me something 4 or 5 times for me to understand. And from what I heard, he went back and he shot at him when he went in the store. So, yeah, but if he wasn't there, I would have been sitting there. So I'm definitely thankful that I heard him say that. Yes, I'm definitely thankful to Mr. Salters. Yes, definitely.
Well, Mr. Lewis, thank you so much for joining me here tonight and for telling me your story earlier today. I appreciate it. This entire community here is mourning this tragic loss. There's a memorial set up down Landon Street here. A truly challenging, difficult, sad, heartbreaking day here in the city of Buffalo. For now, live on Jefferson and Landon, Tara Lynch, News 4.
What does that tell you right there?
Yo, it's too ironic still, to be honest with you.
Man said no lingering, but he heard him tell that to people before.
Right.
So
it's too ironic. Okay, first of all,
but it's your office.
pardon? Okay, so boom, this is my thing. The man said
The guy shooting people. Then I seen a security guard run inside, and then I seen him going after him, shooting. Then I saw him come back out, and he had all camouflage on, and glasses and helmet, and then he put the gun to his head, and he dropped it. He took off his gloves. He took off his gun. He put it down. He took off his vest, and
that
he
doesn't
got on
make
his
sense.
knees and laid down and put his hands behind his back, and they're
Slapping me in my back for no reason.
Okay, so he had more than one burner, obviously, right?
Huh?
He had more than one gun, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But no, the thing that I found funny was how he spoke about critical race theory before that.
It's a piece.
Really? Okay. How ironic, right?
Critical race theory, bro. We spoke about the beginning of civilization. He bought him something to drink.
Like, that doesn't even make sense. Why would you buy him something to drink? Just because you wanted to sit down and talk with him, so you bought him that sounds a little bit sus. Anyways, critical race
Maybe he
theory.
seen something in him. He wanted to do it that day, but kind of talked him out of it, so to speak.
Right.
That could be a theory too. I don't want to crucify the brother and say he's a part of it because it don't make sense for him to be a part of it. But
my thing is how he said when he said he was thankful that the man said something, like he chuckled a bit at first. He's like, yes, I'm thankful. I'm thankful. And then he said it again and again, like to make it seem like he was. I don't know.
But he said the bench was his office. The woman said that.
Yeah.
If that's your office, that means you're always around there.
Yeah, exactly. That's where he conducts his business. All right, cool, no problem.
But then you speak about him telling everybody to leave, and he always does that to people. Why did you emphasize you heard him say that before? You know?
Right.
That's the hole in his argument to me.
You're right.
So let's check out this other clip. It's about an 8-minute clip, not too long. And we're gonna talk about what's really good out there. Check this out. What do you want, my phone now? Come bring it back for me because I need it.
Tonight, this time at a church in California. We'll have more on that in just a moment here. But we do begin tonight here in Buffalo, where authorities say this was clearly driven by racist hate. The attack at this busy supermarket on Saturday afternoon, 10 people shot and killed, including several right here in the parking lot before the gunman even got inside. The alleged attacker, 18 years old, armed with an assault rifle, wearing body armor, and who investigators say chose this supermarket several hours from his home, and that he did reconnaissance here the day before the attack. Authorities say it began in the parking lot. He opened fire. One of the victims, an elderly woman, a mother who was inside the store, told me late this afternoon here that she remembered walking past that woman as she went in. When she came out, she was found on the ground here. The suspect tonight, Peyton Gendron, taken into custody just feet from his victims. Gendron coming before a judge tonight charged with 1 count of murder. Other charges, including hate crimes, are likely to follow. Investigators are now searching his home, interviewing his parents, combing his social media, and some of the chilling details of what they have found already. Tonight in the neighborhood surrounding this supermarket, police are standing guard. It is also a scene of prayer here. And we are learning tonight the names of the victims. The youngest, 32 years old, her name is Roberta Drury. The oldest, 86-year-old Ruth Whitfield, the mother of a former Buffalo fire commissioner here. And the hero security guard, retired Buffalo police officer Aaron Salter. He's being credited with saving lives here before being shot and killed by the suspect himself. Tonight, President Biden saying the Justice Department is investigating this as a hate crime and a racially motivated act of white supremacy and violent extremism. And we have learned late tonight that President Biden will be here on Tuesday. We begin tonight with ABC's Stephanie Ramos right here in Buffalo.
This is the moment authorities arrested the 18-year-old man they say drove 3 hours to Buffalo to murder innocent people because of their race, calling the attack pure evil.
This is an absolute racist hate crime. This is someone who has hate in their heart, soul, and mind.
Active shooter at the top. There's still shots being fired.
The horror unfolded around 2:30 Saturday afternoon at the Tops Friendly supermarket, shattering what was a normal day of grocery shopping in the heart of this predominantly Black community.
Contact homicide. We have bodies found here.
Officials say the heavily armed killer, wearing body armor and a tactical helmet, live streamed the massacre, first opening fire on 4 people in the parking lot, killing 3. Annette Parker and her 9-year-old daughter were walking out of another store just a few feet away from the supermarket when they heard gunshots.
I just picked her up and we ran.
The gunman then entered the store and methodically shot 9 other people. Annette and her daughter escaped to safety, later learning a neighbor and her child were inside, with the gunman at one point standing directly behind them.
He was right behind her. She got out by the grace of God. Yeah, she got out? Yes. He was right behind her.
Inside the store, and her 20-year-old daughter were working the same shift.
We heard gunshots. Everyone in the front end stopped moving. We all looked towards the front door.
Fragrance running away from the gunman, her daughter crouched down behind a register, trapped there until police arrived and brought her to safety.
I turned around, she wasn't there. And I said, where's my baby? Has anyone seen my baby? Where is she? I didn't know where she was.
Retired Buffalo police officer Aaron Salter Jr., working as a security guard at the store, confronted the gunman.
We saw the security guard backing up, reaching for his weapon.
The guard firing multiple shots, hitting the suspect, but even that didn't stop him because of the body armor he was wearing. The gunman fatally shooting the guard moments later.
He cared about the community. He looked after the store. He did a good job. You know, he was very nice and respectable.
Officials saying today the gunman fired about 50 shots, killing 10 people, injuring 3 more. All of the victims who died were Black. President Biden today condemning the attack, saying the Justice Department is investigating it as a, quote, racially motivated act of white supremacy and violent extremism.
A lone gunman, armed with weapons of war and hate-filled soul, shot and killed 10 innocent people in cold blood at a grocery store on Saturday afternoon.
Emphasize black.
Jill and I, like all of you, pray for the victims and their families and a devastated community.
And tonight, we're learning new details about the 18-year-old suspect identified as Peyton Gendron, seen here in court.
I understand the charges.
Charged with 1 count of first-degree murder, he's now behind bars on suicide watch, held without bail. His public defender pleading not guilty for him. Officials say Gendron drove 200 miles from his home in Broome County, New York, to the scene, conducting reconnaissance the day before the attack. Investigators searching his home, interviewing his parents, now combing his social media, saying he posted a 180-page hate-filled document laying out his plan to kill.
This was not by accident. This was a cold, calculated, cruel, I'd say military-style execution in furtherance of a white supremacy doctrine.
And tonight, this community mourning those lives tragically cut short, including the youngest, 32-year-old Roberta Drury. Her sister Amanda telling ABC News she moved to Buffalo in 2010 to care for her brother who was battling leukemia, saying, quote, she was always willing to help and laugh. And 86-year-old Ruth Whitfield, her son Garnell, the former fire commissioner, telling ABC News that his mother stopped by the market to pick up groceries on her way home from visiting her husband in his nursing home. Seen together in this photo, smiling. The city's mayor telling me he saw Garnell in the parking lot, frantically looking for his mother.
My heart absolutely broke, and I tried to provide whatever comfort that I could at that time to my friend, to a community leader, and to someone who has served this city honorably and nobly for decades.
Her proud son saying Ruth was all about family, adding she came from nothing, she didn't have anything, and she rose above it. And she raised us in spite of all of that, being very poor. She raised us to be men and women.
And Stephanie joins us from the scene here tonight. And Stephanie, with this investigation well underway now, I know police believe there are no other suspects at this time, that no one else was involved, and they're also concerned about extremism across social media.
Exactly, David. Authorities believe the suspect, who they have in custody, acted alone, but they warn this kind of extremism is on the rise on social media and on other sites where groups and individuals are able to post racist views. David.
All right, Stephanie Ramos leading us off here tonight. Stephanie, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't
see
forget
what
to
they're
download
doing?
the ABC News app for breaking news.
Trying to set precedents, dog.
Say that again?
Trying to set precedents. Trying to be like, oh, look, white people are going out killing people, so no more freedom of speech. You can't talk about race no more. You can't talk about, oh, who's being racist to who, because you're going to be canceled.
That's crazy, right?
What other way is there to look at it?
Not to mention the fact that they said these type of things are on the rise. These type of racial radical groups
Yeah.
where people are
So everybody on the internet that has a little radical, they talk about racism in a radical way.
Yeah.
And they want to put an end to it. They're gonna say, "Oh, this is radicalizing people, white people, to go out and kill people." But that's what it looks like.
Right.
You're like, "Oh, what's good for the goose ain't good for the gander." So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
They can't talk about it. We can't either, right? So that's another way of enforcing systemic racism.
Trying to control the whole scene.
Yeah, because they're doing it deceptively. We got to be honest with ourselves, man. Damn, mama. Got my son there. You know what I'm saying?
Jeez.
That's what they're scared of, dog. Look, I got a full house, bro.
No, you don't.
You got a full house too. They could barely break even. So you telling me you wouldn't have a little animosity towards that?
Right. No, I mean, at the end of they're saying it's on the rise, so they're like kind of signaling to get more people to, share their radical views and stuff like that. That's kind of a, you know what I mean, a little way to like let people know what's going on.
Exactly.
Opening the mind for the closet racist to say, "Yo, listen, this is on the rise." So if you want to jump in, you know what I mean? Like, it's a low key.
You're not gonna get killed. We're gonna treat you with tender, loving care.
Right.
And who knows, man? We might just, because they said he was doing recon the day before. Recon is a military word. They can't. How is he doing recon? And he's a fucking civilian. You guys are using military terms for something that an extremist did. So what is the extremist? A military dude?
One of their own military, you know what I'm saying? Pawns. It's a military pawn. They're using him to carry out their
Who's the long arm of white supremacy? You telling me that he's a lone wolf and he's just, they're saying it's an act of white supremacy. But who's white supremacy?
Right.
They can't pinpoint it. They're just saying it's an act of white supremacy. What does that mean? Is it if it's a racial act, it's a racial act.
That's the end of it, right?
You know?
It's crazy.
So it's like an act of white supremacy. So you're basically saying to us, like, yo, we send out our lackey and y'all can't do shit about it because we apprehended him. He's in custody.
Funny how they say the man, the security guards. I mean, not the security. He might be a next security guard too. Actually, the way he was talking.
The security guard's black though.
I mean, the other guy who was talking about the first black guy who said he seen the shooter the day before or whatever. He said what did he say?
Want to play that back?
Yeah, play it back real quick because there's some. I should just slip my mind down.
In that Tops earlier this afternoon, we're going to get to that story, but you told me just a few moments ago that you actually spoke with the suspect yesterday. He was here. Tell me more about that.
I seen him, and he looked strange in the neighborhood, but he had a genius shirt on. So I wanted to see if he was a genius. And we sat and talked about string theory, critical race theory, the beginning of civilization, and he seemed like he was a genius, actually. He said he came up just to see the countryside, and he was going to go out camping. He bought a big thing, a jug of water. He had a little nervous twitch to him. I bought him something to drink, and we sat and talked for about an hour and 45 minutes after seeing the pictures and seeing the blue car that I seen him got into yesterday. So it's a shock right now, and he told me his name was Peyton. So it's a shock.
And we did see a blue car get taken away from this scene just about a half hour or so ago. And you were saying that you were speaking with him on a bench that's located outside of this Tops.
Yes.
That's the bench that earlier today, when I first got here, you were the first person I spoke to. You were telling me that bench is your office.
Yes.
And you usually like to stop and sit there and talk to people that are passing by. Today, you didn't stop.
Yes.
So walk me through your afternoon here at the Tops.
Well, I went in there and got me some a juice, and I didn't want to sit there today, so I walked across the street and I opened up my juice. And as I opened up my juice, I heard what I knew wasn't a firecracker. And I looked up and I seen a guy shooting people. Then I seen a security guard run inside, and then I seen him going after him, shooting. Then I saw him come back out, and he had all camouflage on, and glasses and helmet, and then he put the gun to his head, and he dropped it. He took off his gloves. He took off his gun. He put it down. He took off his vest, and then he got on his knees and laid down and put his hands behind his back, and they arrested him at that point.
And
Okay,
the other
so
thing I wanted to talk to you about.
that's what I forgot. The fact that he put his gun to his head, then he put the gun down, took everything off, and laid down. He basically knew the procedure.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
It was like a whole setup. He's like, yo, pretend that you suicide, and then boom, you know what I mean? Get unjust and allow us to come arrest you. That's what it felt like, a whole play.
But I remember that's military, like you could know those things still. The military, they teach you that.
Right.
Because I remember in the Panthers, Eldridge Cleaver, he was in the military and he was with little Bobby Hutton, and they're shooting at the police, shooting back. And they're in an abandoned house. And then Eldridge Cleaver told Bobby Hutton, we have to undress so they don't shoot us, you know?
Yeah.
And little Bobby Hutton was busting. He's like, yo, I ain't undressing shit. Fuck that. busting. You know what I'm saying? God rest his soul. Eldridge Cleaver undressed. So when they put their hands up and they got out and he wasn't undressed, they shot Bobby Hutton. They shot him up, you know?
Yeah.
So that's probably a procedure that they use, you know?
Exactly.
And if it's military, then that ties into it too, right?
Not plotted out that way, right? So yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy to see how it's all gonna unfold, man. I just want to see what happens proceeding forward. Because
Imagine you would get paid thousands of dollars to post them.
Here's another clip from 49 minutes ago. Let's check this out.
As we come on the air, we're learning more about the shooter's additional plans. Officials say they are investigating this as a federal hate crime, calling it the act, quote, pure evil. 10 people were killed, 3 others wounded, when the heavily armed gunman entered a supermarket and opened fire on the mostly black customers and employees. We have team coverage this morning, starting with World News Tonight anchor David Muir on the scene there in Buffalo for us. Good morning, David.
Robin, good morning. It is nearly impossible to wrap your head around the horror that unfolded here at this grocery store behind me. Community members shopping on a Saturday afternoon when police say an 18-year-old in tactical gear who drove from his home hours away came here, did reconnaissance around this store, and we learned that a store manager saw him sitting on a bench outside the store in camouflage gear the day before, asking him to leave. Then coming back the next day, opening fire in the parking lot and then inside. Authorities say all of it, Robin, driven by racist hate. And just moments ago here, right here on the scene, the police commissioner telling us, had the suspect not been caught, that he planned to continue his rampage right down Jefferson Avenue here in Buffalo. This morning, a demand for answers here after the deadly mass shooting at this supermarket in Buffalo, New York, that authorities say was driven by racist hate.
This is an absolute racist hate crime. This is someone who has hate in their heart, soul, and mind.
An 18-year-old gunman opening fire at this top supermarket around 2:30 in the afternoon Saturday, killing 10 people and injuring 3 others.
Active shooter at the top. There's still shots being fired.
This is the moment authorities arrested Peyton Gendron after he unleashed terror on shoppers and employees, starting in the parking lot and then continuing inside.
Contact homicide. We have bodies down here.
Officials say the gunman was wearing body armor and a tactical helmet and was carrying an assault-style rifle. They also say the shooter planned this, driving from a county several hours away to allegedly target a predominantly black neighborhood. He live-streamed the massacre, firing around 50 shots before he was stopped. Zanetta Everhart, whose child was injured in the shooting, describing the horror.
When the incident happened, he was helping an older woman in the parking lot with the cart. Zaire was shot in his lower neck area, and it came out his back on the left side.
Jennifer Tukes, a young mother who was inside the store with her cousin, telling me she escaped through a back door.
I walked in probably, I want to say 2 seconds before he came in. I just got around the corner. He didn't hear gunshots. So I ran down the aisle, went through, I saw the opening through the deli. And ran through the deli and ran out the back door.
Her cousin hiding in a meat freezer after they got separated. Somehow, they both survived, knowing so many others did not.
When I went in the store, the lady was standing there and like she was looking down in her purse like she was looking for her keys. And when I came out and she was still right there on the ground with the cart on top of her.
These were people you had just seen in front of the store.
Yeah, when I walked in, it was alive. When I walked out, they were dead. That could have been me. That's all I could keep saying. That could have been us.
All 10 victims who lost their lives now identified. The youngest, Roberta Drury, just 32 years old. Many of the victims were active members of this community. 77-year-old Pearl Young, she was a churchgoer and a substitute teacher. Her sister in mourning.
I pray she had no pain. That it happened so quick and she was gone like that.
86-year-old Ruth Whitfield, also killed, shopping after visiting her husband at a nursing home nearby. Her son, a former fire commissioner here in Buffalo, remembering his mother.
We're devastated. We're devastated. We're a very close family. We're a very, very close family. And my mother was the glue that held us all together.
And retired police officer Aaron Salter Jr., who was working as a security guard at the store, losing his life after bravely taking on the shooter.
I can't say enough about our retired fellow colleague, Aaron Salter, who confronted this individual to save the lives of others.
But it was his battle with the gunman that allowed so many others to escape, as his friend told our Stephanie Ramos.
I'm going to remember him as a person that I thought he was going to change the world. And now he'll be just remembered as a person that saved lives. And I know people in this city will never forget what he did.
President Biden condemning the attack.
A lone gunman, armed with weapons of war and hate-filled soul, shot and killed 10 innocent people in cold blood.
The gunman seen in court Saturday.
And family charges.
This morning, he's now charged with first-degree murder, being kept behind bars on suicide watch, held without bail. His public defender pleading not guilty for him.
Yo, why do they have to name out those things like if that's not the standard procedure? Like, held without bail on suicide watch. That's all you guys did to him? You didn't shoot him in the leg or something? And you see, a black police officer had to give his life to save other people.
Right.
So, it's back to the old saying, man. We all we got, man.
That's crazy. That's crazy stuff.
So that's just what I had to bring to y'all, man. I had to let y'all know, man, that we've been speaking about this, man, and we don't talk about shit for no reason, It's because it's relevant, it's pertinent,
and it's real.
You know what I'm saying? So We got to peep game, man. We got to be our own best friend, and we got to look out for each other like the world depends on it, because we're civilized people, but they're trying to bring the savage out in us, man.
It's a spiritual warfare. Shout out to Moto.
Yep. Spiritual, man. Very spiritual. But it's deeper than spirit, you know? It's more like metaphysical, bro. Because you kill 10 people, and nothing happens to you. It's another Dylan Roof. I wouldn't be surprised if they took this guy to McDonald's or something instead of Burger King. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, some fuckeries for sure.
And then he stripped himself naked. That's a Manchurian candidate, man. You know, it could be that too. Because the radical white supremacists, they're like, yo, we had enough, man. Yo, let's just shoot up the place. I let these niggas know, yo, there's no fighting back. So niggas can't get shook now.
Right.
We gotta double down on this justice shit. Because they say, you see, we're creeping up on the heels of justice.
Right.
We're gonna get some justice around this motherfucker, man. Don't lighten up, tighten up. Don't let up, get up. It's your boy Matt Mizzle. You know my slogan. Before y'all go out and do something stupid, ask yourself, what would Mac do? Because all I do is sit back, relax, and kick backs. You dig?
Yeah.
I'm out. Salute, homie. You already know.
Yo, catch up. You already know.